fuck is up, my britches? If you're new here, hello, my name is Brittany. Today we are using the new Nars Orgasm collection because orgasms will never die, right? Everybody's always complaining about how Nars does everything in Orgasm, and me being the basic bitch that I am, I need to have it all. So I picked up 3 things from this collection. I'm going to use them all today. I got the eyeshadow palette, the blush palette, and also the liquid cheek product. There was 2 different shades in this one, but I only picked up the one shade because I think the other shade was Orgasm, which there's like limited packaging with this, but I didn't care enough to get both. So super cute packaging. If you guys like this video, if you love Nars as much as I do, or if you love orgasms, you know, give this video a thumbs up and let's get started. I think I'm gonna do the eyes first, and then the eyes will kind of reflect what the cheeks will look like. You guys let me know if you want me to do it different. And then with the purchase, this is all available on the Nars website, I believe only right now. I also got a mini size of Orgasm X, which is one of my favorite blushes from Nars. So Orgasm X was one of, I believe, the first products from Nars that was like, whoa, like, why are you sleeping on Nars? And then I started using their eyeshadow palettes, and I fucking love them. I love their formulas, and I also do have the Orgasm X. Is this technically their lip gloss? No, it's the oil-infused lip tint is what's on the top of my lips right now. I see all the bitches coming in the live chat. It's me and you, Britt. Hey, Rose. Hi, Nicole. Hi, Kimberly. What's up, my bitches? Tacha Fukabukuruan. What? What the fuck is that? Spend $100, get 100. Ooh, and I need me a dewy skin cream. Ooh, okay. I'm going to be going on Tacha's website after this. So here's what the eyeshadow palette looks like. Were you guys interested in this at all? This was the first thing that I purchased in 2023, so of course it's got to be Nars. I don't love this aspect of Nars. I feel like they always do this. So you've got this beautiful packaging. It's like a light pink. I feel like it's getting a little bit washed out. Let me hold it back so you can see like the true color. It's out of focus, but whatever. It's the lights that's making it look lighter. I hate how they put the sticker this way instead of this way. You know what I'm saying? It's just one of those things. Stickers annoy me. You guys know this. But packaging is really, really beautiful, which I feel like Nars always does a great job with their packaging. Okay, spend 200, get 200. Oh, shit. Okay, Tacha. So this is the color story of the Orgasm palette. I do have another palette from Nars. Let me dig it out really quick. I meant to get it before I started, and I forgot. So I love me some Nars eyeshadows, and their palettes can look a little repetitive. So there's one palette in particular that I'm thinking of. Is it the Uninhibited palette? This is kind of giving me a similar vibe of, so I probably did not need both. But we're going to look, and maybe when I look at it, I'm going to say, oh no, they're not the same. But I have a feeling it's going to be like, yeah, they're pretty fucking close. So this is the Uninhibited. This is not the one I was thinking of. So just to give you a reference of Orgasm versus Uninhibited, I mean, kind of similar, but kind of not. Uninhibited is more like mauvey berry tones, whereas Orgasm, it's like flushy tones, if that makes sense. Let me pull out Climax is nothing similar. Let me look at this Summer Solstice next to it as well, because this one even, it's probably more orangey toned, but I feel like if you're looking at them side by side, you might be like, wait, they're really close to each other. So wow, I'm really slaying the day with this right now. All right, so this is Summer Solstice versus Orgasm. So Summer Solstice is over here. Definitely more summery vibe. If you're pale complexion, you'll probably like this one the most. Or if you like a really like light color story. So this for me, it's probably not going to be like a holy grail palette for me because it doesn't have the depth that I typically like. But it does have some darker brown tones, so I'm not going to be that pissed about it. And actually, let me grab these mini Orgasm palettes. These were actually both gifted to me from Look Fantastic, like, forever ago. Probably when they first came out. Hello, bitches! Alright, so let me show you guys. This is the Orgasm Mini in comparison to this one. I mean, obviously, if you have this, you don't need this. They're pretty much the same fucking thing. You know, obviously not exactly, but close enough where you're probably not going to notice that much of a difference. And then Orgasm X, this was actually one of my favorite mini palettes I've ever used. So, I just dropped the fucking palette! And I think I just dug my finger in it. Did any of the shades break? No, we're still good. Yes. So here is Orgasm X. This is more of the vibe that I personally like. But we're going to try it anyway. So there's some comparisons for you guys, if you even gave a shit. But I just opened that and I'm like, wait, do I already have this? Which, I mean, technically, probably throughout all the Nars palettes that I have, yeah, I probably do have all these shades already. But in the event that you don't have a collection like I do and you are interested in the color story, that's what we're here for today. So, let me know. Reminds me of Buxom Boss Babe. I don't have that one. I'm assuming that's a palette from Buxom, right? I don't think I've ever tried anything Buxom as far as eyeshadows go. All right, let's just dive right in here, shall we? I feel like straight up, if you're my skin tone or lighter, you could probably use this as well for a highlight palette, even maybe blushes. I mean, if you like a shimmery blush, like these two shades right here, you could probably use as blush. You're going to get more of a sheen with this one, though. Anyways, let's use this bitch. I need to clean my brushes in the worst way. I'm going to try to find just the brushes that I use the most so it's, you know, easy for me to kind of know if I like it or don't. I'm automatically assuming, though, I'm going to like this palette just because I love Nars eyeshadows. It's like if you like the formulas that they typically do, yeah, you're probably going to like it. All right, where is my... Fuck it, whatever. Oh, there it is. This is the one I was looking for. I was looking for my refer number 2, which you're going to see my brushes are dirty. I'm just going to dust them off in between. So let me go in first with this like mid-tone brown. This is a little bit warmer. Tell me, were you guys even interested? Very underrated Buxom palette. I feel like when people are interested in Buxom, it so easily gets overlooked. You know what I mean? I don't know why. You know how certain brands, it's like there's a hype for a minute and then it kind of just gets washed away? I feel like that's what always happens with Buxom. Like, I'll hear a couple people talk about it and then it's like, okay, on to the next one. That happens with so many brands, though. Okay, so this is working fairly easily. Same as what my shadows really always work like with Nars as far as their mattes. Like, super easy to just lay down. I like to just go in and pat everything down and then I'll go in and blend the edge after. So there's that shade. That was just the, not the deepest brown, but one of the deeper shades in the palette. And then I'm going to take this Vive brush. It's a little bit more stiff. It's the eyeshadow smudger. And I'm going to take this lighter shade and blend out the edge on this one. What launches are you guys the most excited about so far? Somebody had asked me on my live yesterday, because I was live on TikTok yesterday, and then I did YouTube, I think, the day before. So look at me go, guys. 2 times in 1 week. Whoa. I really don't know. Like, as soon as I saw this drop, I'm like, yep, gonna get it, because it's Nars, and I really enjoy Nars. I really wish I could get on the complexion train, though. I should have worn that foundation today, the Nars Light Reflecting. If you're wondering anything that's on my face, just leave me a comment and I can answer it for you, or I could try to link it after. Hi, Beverly! Let's see, now that I see it going on the eyelids, looks darker even than I thought it would be. Yeah, definitely. And that kind of helps with how I apply it, because I just lay it down and then I blend it after. And I had a feeling, honestly, looking at this palette, I'm like, I think it's going to be really universally flattering, maybe from like light, or like, I'm going to say fair, to maybe tan skin tones. I'm not sure how well this will be worth it for a deeper complexion, but I would be curious to see a deeper complexion try this palette, because who knows, sometimes when you lay shadows down, they look totally different than what you're actually expecting. So let me take this Vive eyeshadow packer brush. Oh my god, Jocelyn got a hold of these brushes and destroyed them. Am I wearing the Hourglass? I'm not wearing the Hourglass. I'm wearing the Valentino foundation. I was wearing the Hourglass foundation yesterday. So I'm using the deepest shade in the palette right now and just packing that right on the outer corner. This does have like little gold reflex. You can actually see them pretty well on there on camera. So when I'm laying it down on my outer corner, I do see those little gold speckles, but it's not anything super crazy. And then I'll go in and blend the edge. I feel like if you were to lay down like a base under it, it would probably pop a little bit more. But one thing about Nars that I really like, and this is just a preference thing, I have like fine lines and shit like that, and I have hooded eyes. So I always find that more like shimmery shades are more flattering on the texture that I have on and around my lids. And they just look, I don't know, they just look so youthful. You know what I'm saying? I feel like you guys will understand, because I do feel like I have an audience that has very similar like skin concerns that I do. So that packs down perfectly fine. Now I'm going to take a blender brush. Like, look at this shit. Oh my God. Fucking Jocelyn, I can't. If I hadn't seen in person... Wait. Audra says... Oh, okay, very underrated. She was talking about the Buxom. Sorry, I'm catching up on what I missed. Alright, so let's take this again. I'm going to stay probably away from... Actually, you know what? Let me take this one. These two shades right here, I'll give you guys swatches after. They have a slight sheen to them. Like, they look like a luminous blush. That's like the texture that it's giving me. I'm just going to blend out the edges on the darker shade and see how everything just kind of goes together. How we looking? I feel like I just blended it away right there, but we'll see on this side. I just wanted to add that like pinky element that I feel that this shade right here has. It's like a pinky bronze. Okay. I mean, this is cute. This is like what I typically like, so I'm into it. And then if I want to add a little bit more depth, I'll just take that same darker shade and just deepen it up and smoke it out a little bit more. The eyeshadow tones accentuate your eye color nicely. That was another thing I was considering when I saw this color story. I'm like, it just looks like a palette that I could fuck with so hard. Because of what I usually go for. Like, I usually like nudes. I like stuff that accentuate my eyeballs. And I appreciate you, Rachel. Thank you very much. Satins and shimmers do well on textured lids for sure. Yes, and you know what? I could thank Charlotte Tilbury for that, because I used to always stay away from textured eyeshadows because I felt that they would, if anything, accentuate texture more, but it doesn't. It's so interesting. So, yeah, I totally agree with that. Now let's take one of these shimmery. I'm looking at this one right in the middle. Every time they do these like 9 pans, it's the middle shade that gets me every single time. Yes, bitch. I'm going to put that one. My phone's ringing. Who's calling me? Oh, it's my delivery driver. Great. Which he should have a key to get in. So there's that. Oh my God. So pretty. Do my eyes look orgasmic yet? I bet you this video... It's like, this is what sucks about YouTube. I wonder how this video will do performance-wise just because of what this is named. You know? Like, I already am seeing, like, less people watching, and I wonder if it's, one, because of the time of the day, or if it's because YouTube probably won't push it out because it's called the Orgasm Collection, which, okay, I get it. That color is so pretty. It does remind me of the shade in the Uninhibited. No, it's not this color. That's not that one either. Hold on. Maybe there's a shade that I'm thinking of, but I think it is more orangey toned. Let me see. I think it's this one. Let me swatch this shade right here. This is from Summer Solstice. And I'm going to swatch... Oh, yeah, these are really similar. So you got Summer Solstice right here, and this is from the Orgasm collection. So let's do Summer Solstice and Orgasm. Very, very, very similar. So that's kind of a bummer. So if you have both, you probably don't. Or if you have one, you probably don't need both. I will say Summer Solstice is a little bit more orangey but I don't know if you'd be able to notice that much of a difference on the eyes. So just be mindful of that. Same thing I'm going to say with these two shades up here. Like the finish is slightly different and the tones are slightly different. This one in the middle looks like it's going to be a little bit more glittery. So let me put this one on the inner part of my eye. But this is what I love about Nars eyeshadows right here. Like, see how just fucking gorgeous they look? It's the texture. This is what I love too about Scott Barnes eyeshadows. It's when you put them on your eyes, the texture that this gives, it just looks stunning. So I'm here for it. Even though I definitely have this shade in the Nars palettes already. So there is some repetition in this palette, so that is kind of a bummer. But I think especially if you have more like fair complexion, you'd fucking love this. If you don't already have, you know, a bigger Nars collection already. That's super pretty. What do you guys think? Oh, that eye look is pretty. Yes. It's kind of like, I think this is very Valentine's appropriate. It does give me summer solstice, like I keep saying. However, if you don't like orangey tones, you might be more inclined to get this one because this is giving more blushy tones. Okay. So let's take this inner corner because I feel like this will be beautiful. This shade for face highlight, inner corner, brow bone, all that. So let's start with, this is my husband's favorite step in my makeup, like my makeup routine. I almost said collection. So this one, it does look like the last shade, or it's like very similar. It might be like a slightly different undertone. I think this shade might be a little bit more gold tone. Or I'm going to say the other shade is more of like champagne. This kind of reminds me of like champagne pop. Whereas this one, it's going to be more like vanilla. Because it has a slight goldenness to it, but not anything overpowering where it looks yellow by any means. And then we'll throw this right under the brow bone. Think like MAC Nylon. Or even like Becca, probably Moonstone maybe, something similar to that. But MAC Nylon, that's a pretty spot on, I think, comparison. Because that was one of my favorite brow bone highlights ever. Used to love that one. Thank you, Kimberly. All right, let's blend this edge really quick. And then we'll move on to the under eye really quick, which I'm only going to do, I think, the browns on my under eye. I don't know why I closed this. Here's one thing that is kind of like a pain in the ass about Nars packaging is a little difficult to open sometimes. So if you have a harder time with packaging, you might not like that as well. I'm just going to take this shade here, run this underneath, and then I want to take a little bit of that darker shade as well to deepen out the outer corner. But I feel like I'm able to do this look relatively quick. How long have I been here? 18 minutes, and it's mainly because I'm talking and I did like a whole intro and everything and comparisons. So normally it would not take me this long to get this look using this palette. So I'm just mixing these two shades at this point and just running them underneath. And then I'll take a fluffier brush and blend those together and call it a day for the eyeballs, because I just want it to be something like cute, smoky. You know what I always go for, guys? I'm not much of like a out of my comfort zone type of person when it comes to the way that I like to do my eyeshadow, because it's like I found what works for my eye shape, and this is it. And it looks gorgina! What do you guys think so far? Are you here for it? Are you not? Are you still just like, nah, bitch, wasting money? Let me know your thoughts, and then we'll move on to the cheek palette, which I forgot to mention this already. The price of the eyeshadow palette, I believe, is like $40-something. $49 for the eyeshadow palette. You see it on this side, on the bottom. $49. And then the Orgasm Foreplay Blush Quad is $45. And then the cheek, it's called the Multiple. I got Orgasm Rush. These are $39, which is why I got only one of them. Because I'm like, yeah, bitch, chill. You don't need them all. All right, so let's try this on one side. or I lied. Let's do this first. No, because I want to put this on top. I don't really like putting creams down first and then like a powder on top. How do you guys want me to do this? I'll start with this on one side of my face and see what you guys say for the other side. So this is what the cheek palette looks like. This is another one where I'm like, I know I have all of these. Let me whip out my Nars collection really quick. And the one in particular I think of is this bigger palette. It's also the Orgasm palette. It's the Orgasm on the Beach. And that's what this one looks like. So pairing these side by side, really fucking close. Actually, let's look at these shade names and see if there's any duplicates. So you got Orgasm, Orgasm Rush, Orgasm X, and Swinger are in these ones. And you've got Orgasm in this palette. I think Zuma is probably something similar to Orgasm X. I'm surprised Orgasm X isn't in this one, but it's like, okay. So they might be not the exact same shades, but it's like if you have this, you don't need this. They're so similar. So, I mean, some people don't really love these bigger palettes from Nars. I personally do. I just know when I use them, I need to use something that is more dense, like as far as my brush goes. Let's pull out this uninhibited one as well. Oh no, that was a duo. What other one do I have? I feel like there's another Orgasm palette, but maybe not. I feel like another popular one was this one. But one thing I will say, whenever I see like really heavy embossing with the Nars palettes, like the one I just showed you, or even the holiday one from this year, I noticed that it's really difficult to get into the product. You need a really dense brush. But with the Orgasm on the Beach palette, and I even feel like with this, like it has the embossing, but I don't think it's going to be as difficult to get into the product. So I'm just going to use my Refer number 4, one of the brushes I always use, and then I'll let you guys know how it kind of goes from there. So I really want to use the shade Orgasm Rush, which I believe is this one. So I think this is Orgasm X. This is probably Swinger, and then Orgasm at the top, which who doesn't have Orgasm in their collection at this point? Honestly, is there anyone in the chat that does not have Orgasm already? So I want to use, excuse me, I would most likely, if I'm using this on like a day-to-day, I would just probably mix them all together. But I do want to see this shade by itself. So I'm just going to push this. Before I start swiping, I like to lay it down first because I don't set my entire face with powder all the time. So today I have mostly like the center of my face set with powder. Yeah, like already I'm getting way better payoff. But I like the fact that it's not super and overly pigmented, that I apply too much. I like that it's a little bit more buildable. So this is the shade, what was it? Orgasm Rush. So this is the same shade as the cream blush that I picked up. So now, Orgasm X, you guys already know that I love this one. Let me just mix all these together, minus the highlight, and get these all down. Dior has a great green palette. Oh my god. I wanted that palette so bad. Are you talking about the Backstage? That palette looks so pretty. I thought I was going to get it in New York City, but they didn't have it when I was there. Alright, that's cute. I'm here for that. Now let me take my Wayne Goss number 4. And we're going to use this highlight. This, it looks like it's going to be super blinding. Yeah, just like the blushes, it does pick up quite a bit easier than like the holiday palette, like I was saying earlier. Really pretty. Are you guys seeing? I can't like really see what the hell I'm doing from this angle, but it's okay. I just want you guys to see the shine that this gives. Again, it's nice that it's a little bit more buildable. That way you could use a lighter amount or you can go ham like I'm doing, you know? So let me use this on the other side just to kind of see how it looks by itself for a cream blush, because I feel like everybody now, or most people, are really into like the cream and liquid blushes, whereas before I don't think it was as popular. I don't even know what happened. I feel like ever since Scott Barnes like entered the chat, everybody loves like underpainting and cream contour, cream bronzer, cream blushes, all that shit. So I'm going to use my BK 109 and I'm just going to run my brush over the top and you'll see how it picks up. I don't want to apply too much, so I'm just going to try to evenly distribute it across my brush, dab it onto my hand, and then we'll go this way. If I didn't have my powders and stuff on, like in this area, I would probably try just applying this right on my face. But more times than not, I'm applying my brush to the product and then dispersing it after the fact. So let's see what this shade looks like. I really like the shade of this Orgasm Rush. It's got almost like a copper undertone to it a little bit, which is really pretty. And it's different from the traditional Orgasm. But if I had to choose, I'm still going to pick Orgasm X. I think is my favorite out of the three between Orgasm, Orgasm X, and Orgasm Rush. But that's pretty. Like, super, like, everyday wearable. It doesn't have as much as a sheen as I was expecting to. Just from how it looked, like, when I first opened it. It looks like it's going to have a sheen, but if anything, it's more matte. So, for me, personally, I like when my cream blushes have a sheen to them. So, I don't know realistically, like, how much I'll use this. If anything, it'll be like I lay it down before my powder and I'll apply the powder on top. That way, I could maximize the length of time that my blush lasts. Because these powder blushes, which I'm going to put Orgasm Rush on top, the powders actually have that sheen to them. So, like, pairing them together is probably really nice. And then I'm not having to apply as much powder either because I have that cream underneath. So that is really, really pretty. And I feel like you could really see the sheen that these blushes have, which are beautiful. I really do like those. And now just to balance the sides, I'm going to just mix Orgasm and Orgasm X with the other one. That way we kind of look the same. And then on the other side, I'm going to go back to here and apply that cream over the top just to kind of see how that looks. But that looks really pretty. Like, this would be a really pretty, what is it, blush draping? Is that what they call it? This would be a really good shade to do that with for me. I like it. So let's go back to the stick. And we'll use this one. And then I'll just apply that right over the top to see how this kind of comes to life. Hi, Gemma! Hey, girl, hey! Yeah, I am really enjoying the fact that it's not, like, overly pigmented. You know, like, I'm able to go in a couple times and apply right to my cheek and be like, okay, like, I could still get more. Like, I'm not afraid to over-apply this right now. And I feel like that looks really, really pretty. Like an orgasm flush, if you will. Right? I want to add a little bit more down here to really, you know, really commit. But this is super pretty. I'm not mad at this collection at all. This is totally my vibe. It's not going to be for everybody. It's boring, but I love it. I'm into it. Did I need it? Absolutely not, because I know for a fact I have this in my collection, but I am also really glad that I do have it, because the packaging is cute, the overall look of it is beautiful, and it's effortless. Like, I'm not having to work hard at all to get this look. So let me add a little bit more of this shade right here. This shade reminds me of, I should have pulled that one out as well. I have like an hourglass. I have an Orgasm Trio. Let me grab it so we can see. The Orgasm X Face Palette. This was one of my most recommended products for Nars. And the highlighter in this reminds me a lot of this one. Except, I think it's even a little bit more flattering. However, let me swatch them side by side so we could see. Maybe they are the same. Because this one never had the embossing, so it's a little bit, like, creamier. Like, I'm able to actually pick up product with it. Again, like I said earlier, when it's got the embossing, it's a little bit more difficult, but look at... Oh, so this one here, on my index finger, this is the Orgasm X Face Palette. This one is the Orgasm Cheek quad. Okay. Swatch these next to each other so you can see. So Orgasm X and then Orgasm Quad. Orgasm Quad is slightly darker, but they're close enough. I'm gonna go. Yes, totally. I saw Pamela said, I'm ready for Valentine's, and this feels very romantic. Very much Valentine's vibes, because who's trying not to have an O on on Valentine's Day? You know? Alright, so let's finish this look, and then if you guys got questions, I could answer them, but I'm gonna pop on some lashes. I got some new Kiss lashes again. Thank God, because these are my favorite. So, my thoughts on this collection so far, I'm here for it. You know, I think, you know, some people are not going to like that it's Orgasm. People think it's... People have such an attitude about them, like, doing, like, Orgasm, and this is called foreplay. Like, to me, I think it's funny, because I'm an adult. But, I could see where people don't love that aspect of it, and, you know, that's total personal preference. Like, I find humor in, like, sexual things that don't include, you know, children. That's obviously not funny. But, yeah, I've seen that people don't love that. They think that, oh, that's gross, you know, deep throat, ew, why would they name it that? I get it, but to me, that's one of the things that I love about it. It's just a preference thing, like I said. So, if I had to pick a favorite, I'm going to keep everything remotely the same. I think I would be even more excited about this if I didn't feel like I already had a lot of it. Because, again, I do feel that it is a little bit repetitious as far as what we've seen from Nars before. But I'm also not mad at it because I'm a basic bitch. So, let me know your guys' thoughts. I'm trying to find my lash glue that I know I put in here earlier. Purposely, so I didn't lose it. Nars is a very dependable makeup brand. One of my favorites to travel, can always make different looks. I totally agree. I do feel like whenever Nars launches something, it might not be the most, like, original or anything super exciting or different. Occasionally, you know, like occasionally they'll come out with a banger. Like the Climax palette is, I think, what I was the most excited about that I've ever seen them launch, at least since they've been on my radar. But I agree with Nars is very dependable. Like, I feel like I don't worry about if the product is going to be good because most of the time they put out bangers. The only time I ever get really concerned about Nars products is for complexion, and that's only because I feel like their undertones are always very yellow. And that's not something that I love for me, but that's also where I pick and choose where I spend my money as far as stuff like that. So, like, when I saw the light reflecting foundation was coming out, I knew going into it, like, okay, you're gonna want something that's more of, like, a cooler undertone, or, because even neutral undertones, majority of the time for Nars, are still yellow. So that, if anything, has been the only downfall for me with Nars, is the undertones of complexion. Like I said, I caught it live, woohoo! Not gonna lie, it seems like Nars just keeps repackaging the same tones with different embossing. I could totally see where you feel that way. Especially after, like, showing the comparisons like I did. Like, you could definitely see there are some similarities, but I also feel it is kind of their aesthetic. Like, they don't realistically release things that are, like, super different, you know? It's usually the same boring type of color stories, and I can only really speak on behalf of their eyeshadow palettes mainly, especially in their more recent years. But I could totally see, like, what you're saying as far as it seems like it's just repackaged repetitive shit. I get that. I get that. Truth about undertones, so frustrating. For realsies. For realsies. Totally frustrating. Because it's like, I want to love everything Nars. And I feel like I could make, like, the foundations work, but then again, it's like, I don't want to always have to make products work. I just want to love them and them work like they're supposed to, you know? I think with this look, with these lashes, It's going to look so pretty. So pretty. And I think this Orgasm X lip oil goes really nicely with this collection as well, which it should. It's Orgasm, you know. Let's see. The red 9-pan. Yeah, the Climax. And that was the one I was like, oh my God. How did not more people love that one? Even the, I feel like the, what was it? The Bijou or Bourgeois palette from Holiday of last year. That one I think fell so under the radar. It wasn't anything different by any means, but it was a banger. I love NARS products because they're so much like my makeup aesthetic. And I do feel like they target a very specific audience. Almost like how really a lot of brands do. Like, realistically, think about it. Like, they're not releasing products all the time, but when they do release products, they're releasing it for an audience, it seems like. They're releasing it for people that are more basic, that don't want anything, like, super, like, this is glittery, don't get me wrong. What the fuck? I've done that so many times with that word. So it's like I'm saying literally and glittery. They've done, like, glitter before, but they don't have, like, super outlandish color stories for their palettes. I feel like they're more for, like, a mature type of audience, you know? The mature basic bitches, if you will. But again, I just feel like they're a very dependable brand. You know, when they release something, you know it's going to be good. So, how do we feel about the lashes? How do we like the look? Let me add a little bit more of this lip oil so you can see. I love the Climax palette and last year's Holiday. Yes. So here's a little bit more of the lip oil just so you can see it applied. I don't even know if they still have this. I forget what... I think I got this with the Orgasm on the Beach collection. Super pretty. I don't love the way that it smells. But their products just look so good. Like, effortlessly orgasmic. I'm here for it. So yeah, I like this collection. Do you need it? No, you don't need anything. But if you're into it, like, packaging is super cute. I like, too, it's like, you're not going to see... I mean, you'll see the fingerprints, but not on, like, other ones that they've done. You know? It's not matte. It's more shiny of, like, a baby pink. I really like this. I really, really like the aesthetic of this collection. I do wish that they would make some, like, bigger differences between the palettes. Like, when you look at these two side by side, they look the same, and I wish that there was an easier way to tell the difference versus just the sticker on the back. So that's one minor critique, is I wish they had different packaging for different products, but I get why, because it probably saves them a shit ton of money just being able to change the sticker. But it is what it is. I do wish that they launched, like, an audacious lipstick with this collection, or even put this with the collection or something, or, like, another shade of this or something. I feel like they could have done more, but I'm good with it. I'm good with what I got. I really do like everything. This was different than expected, but not in a bad way. It's just overall really nice. This is a look that I would go for, and I guarantee I'm going to go to work tonight and get a ton of compliments on my makeup today. Because this is what people love for me. And this is what I love for me. So there's that. That's my thoughts and everything. First impression on the new NARS collection. If you guys have any questions, just leave them in the comments down below. I love hearing your guys' thoughts. If you want to know anything else that's on my face, let me know. Next video, hopefully, will be, like, my best of beauty, even though I'm slightly late. But I think I'm going to do, like, top 20. You guys let me know if you want me to, like, separate anything or whatever, but that's the plan, is just doing, like, a top 20. Yeah, let me know what you guys are interested in as far as new releases, so, you know, I could plan accordingly on what I want to pick up. Yeah, that's it. Have a good night, everybody. I'm going to go to work now and work at my bar, so have a good night, and I will hopefully see you guys in my next one. Okay, bye!